Welcome back at episode 82. So, in last week's video you saw me finally wrap up the cluster, or as close as I can to wrap it up. As I said before, I'm going to sort of pause on putting it back in the car until I know what I'm doing with those dials, the face dials. But hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll know. I think probably next week I will just plug it in and check whether the tacho, odometer tacho works, because I can't test that any other way. And I want to start the old girl again. She's not been started for about 3 or 4 weeks now, so, or whenever you can tell from the videos, whenever I last did it on a video. So I'd like to just start up and make sure that's all working still. Anyway, in this week's video, I want to do these headlights. This is, obviously I've done the mechanism a couple of weeks back. This week it's sort out those electrics finally. Now this is another big worry for me. I'm not an electrician. I am sort of technical, but car electrics? No. No. Either way, I've got the wiring diagrams, I've got the circuit diagrams, I've got a continuity test, a voltmeter, etc. So we're just going to dive in and see what I can find. It might be messy. Let's see. I have no idea what to do with it. But let's just see how we get on. As ever, thank you for watching. Click like, subscribe, leave me comments. Let's just get in there. So it's not the best diagram to show you on, but what we've got over here then, this is the headlight relay. Now the bit of interest to us is 30B and 56. They're the two connectors that if you follow 30B across and down, it comes to the switch. This is the light switch. And it's the same if we follow 56 down, goes down to the motor, but also comes across and down into the switch. So this is the switch lights off, and this is fully on. These two. This is the side lights. So with the switch off, power will go down this one and into 30B, and with the switch fully on, power will come from X, which is why we have power going into X. It will come out X through 56, across, all the way across, and then into this connector. We'll join this wire that goes in the back of the relay connection 56, but also sends current down into the motor and this magic disc, which you have to sort of try and work out what that's doing, but it's fine, I've got that covered now. So when I move my connector power supply, so I basically close this switch or this switch, it will lower or raise the headlights, which we can do now. This is the inside of the headlight motor. So you can see the three, if I just get a screwdriver, 3 small contacts here that touch this metal disc, and the disc has got some cutouts, namely there and there, and that tells when it goes across here, that means the motor's fully up or fully down, and that's what is used to stop or start the motor. So this is the setup. Now on my drawing, this is the back of the relay, and let's just apply power to the relay first. I don't like to leave it with the power connected all the time. So now if we apply power to 56, which is this, going by the diagram, this one here, you can hear the motor running. Oops, I'm just slipping off. So that's now the headlights up. And if we apply power to 30B, which is over this side, that will be the headlights down, like that. So that appears to work perfectly. I'm pretty confident that the motor works and the relay seems to check out correctly. What I need to do now is I'm going to document exactly what connectors I've got there. They're the ones that I've derived from the online circuit diagrams, but I just like it in my own format a little bit, easy to understand. Ensure that the connections on the back of the relay connect up to the correct pins on the back of the motor, and put it all back in the car and see if it works. It certainly seems to work here. And exactly how I'd expect it to work. Now that's taken quite some time to decipher, probably about a week. of looking through different circuit diagrams and just gently stepping forwards. I've been very careful because I don't want to sort of blow up the relay because they're a bit pricey, same with the motor. So each little step has been very incremental, sort of carefully made. But I'm really happy with that. I can see that it works, the motor works, it's doing exactly as it should. So I think we just get it back in the car. Right, what I'm going to do now then, now I know that the motor works, the relay works, I'm going to check the wires from the fuse box back to these 4 connectors here and check that they all connect up. Oops. As per my diagram that I've drawn out from on the workbench. So hopefully the wiring is correct, but let's just try and do that now with the continuity tester. So I'm now back in the car. I've tested quite a lot of the wiring. So I've tested from the all the way from the bonnet where the motor connects up back to the fuse board. Those wires are good. Now I'm just testing what is called connector 56, which goes from 56 on the relay, which is the pin that needs to go to 12 volts to go down, across to B5, then from B5 using a white and black wire, all the way across to the switch, which is what I'm just opening up here now. Now you won't be able to see because I can't, but in there is a wire, a black and white wire that I need to get on the end of to check continuity all the way back to the fuse board. So I'm going to try and do that now, but I need to put the camera down. Right, so I've now managed to get on the back of that switch and confirm the black and white wire comes up here, around here, through down to B5 over there. So that all seems good. Now it says, the wiring diagram this is, that there's a black and red wire comes out of that switch, up, around and into the back of the ignition. Now I think it's X. It should be connected to X, which is, I was getting my torch, but it's down here somewhere. And I need to check whether that lines up, you know, whether it's there's continuity. And ultimately I want to try and plug that back in, test on the back and check there's 12 volts going all the way across back to number 56 in the headlight relay. It's just not that straightforward. Right, testing the back of the cluster, the back of the switch, I'm getting 10.4 volts. Now, if I can do it one-handed, if I twist the switch off, well, that's now, sorry, that's off, that's position 1, and that's position 2, which is raise the headlights. So that's correct. This morning's job is trying to decode and work out whether this light switch works. I say decode, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I got the online tutorial by Alan off a friend list. Amazingly detailed, tells me exactly what I'm doing. And up until recently, I didn't realise these were actually labelled. So I've obviously cleaned this up with electrical cleaner and just written down so I can read it a bit easier without having to use a magnifying glass, what the connections are. And now what I'm going to do is just work through this wiring diagram or connection diagram with my continuity tester, make sure that it all connects up correctly, because I do suspect that the switch is a bit dodgy. Right, I've been through the entire switch and happy or unhappy to report it all checks out correctly, ignoring where I put my X. So the switch isn't faulty, that all seems to work. Right, if I'm honest, I can't see anything wrong. So I've put the relay back in, I've put the switch back in, which I've just tested, and I'm just going to try it and see if the headlights come down, because I can't see anything else to change. Nope, nothing. That's me just turning the switch here. I really don't know what that is then. Looks like I have to dig deeper. Finally, after I don't know how long, weeks, I have the headlights going up and going down and up and going down. And it all comes down to a special wire that's missing for some reason on my fuse board. So there's the X connector. I can show you. This is the back of the relay effectively, and there's this connector here, the X, which is the auxiliary. That should go from there across into B6, the B6 connector on this side, but it isn't there on mine. So what I need to do, there is a wire, I need to trace where it's going. It's all under this tangle. but I need to sort of trace it and see where it does go, but it's not going to the right place. But with this temporary wiring, it all works. Slightly shorter video than normal, but I'm definitely wrapping up this week. That has taken so long, although I didn't record it, so long tracing the wires backwards and forwards from the ignition, back to the switch, back to the relay. I knew the ones down here were fine, but my God, did it take a long time. So, really happy. They seem to be working all correctly. No issues at all with those, apart from that missing wire, which took a long time to track down as well, because it's the last thing you think of, that you know, the fuse board is incorrectly wired. I mean, God knows what happened. What I do need to do though, there is still, I've got temporary wiring at the moment. What I need to do is just quickly double check what wire goes where, because there is a wire coming out of the X connector on the relay, and I did trace it and I've forgotten where it goes now, so I need to just go back. I've got a feeling it goes off to the rear demister, rings a bell, the rear demister fuse, but I'll double check that and just try and work out. And it might be that I need to just create a little wire that hops across from the demister fuse across to the X. Maybe that's one that's missing, who knows, we'll have a look. But for now I'm going to wrap up. Thank you as ever for watching. Click the like, subscribe, leave me comments, and I'll see you next week.